let you know that I'll be famous, but that means that I'll be going through some changes. And I told you everything.
Do all the dirty work, put your stickers on yourself?
Dirty work, it's like badging of honor. I'm just proud that we have stickers to put on the car.
Everything's new this year on this car. It's at 30 pounds, pushing 535 horse on a Mustang dyno.
I'm driving a 2003 BMW M3. I'm driving with my friend Brad Yonkers, who I've met through other racing stuff. You drive in a circle on a wet surface.
As fast as you can.
Yeah, 3 laps in each direction.
Driver from Brooklyn.
It's never a good feeling because it's so wet. It's so like just pooling water. You never really have that much grip, so it just feels slow. You can't do much. You just hold the throttle steady, stay tight to those cones, and that's all you can do. The Evo isn't a wet skid pad car. You know, you really have to dial in the tire for the wet skid pad. So we kind of are banking on hopefully having some dry track. But then we also have the all-wheel drive to help pull around the wet track conditions too. Driving 3,500 miles, the track day every single day, sometimes 2.
No, it was a bad battery where it was going from 12 to 10 to 8 volts.
The guy at Batteries Plus like, no, not your battery. He like tested with his tester, 12.8 volts, hooks this other little thing up to test it. He couldn't get it working, but it drew like just a little amount of load and already went down to like 12.3 or something. Doesn't say anything, just goes and gets the new battery. It's like, okay, fine.
Did the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world?
Was it clean?
No, I hit a cone. Yeah. After that, I knew it was like, all right, this is a test run. Let's push. Let's see what else we can do.
Awesome, fast course. The Indy group did a really awesome job. It's it doesn't seem really technical on the offset, but when you're actually out there driving, there's definitely a few gotcha spots where you got to be careful. And the first 2 runs got me.
Fun run. I know, that's what I'm glad I got that one good, pretty good run in.
This last run I managed to pull off a pretty clean run. It was a second faster than my first run, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Madison, one of my twins, ran up to me and said, "Daddy, don't go. I have something to give you." And so I said, "Don't worry. I'll let you know before I go." When I was packing up my stuff, and as I'm getting ready to go, she hands me a piece of paper, and I open it up, and there's a picture of a girl, and she got a sad face, and then she hands me this, and it was a gift to take with me on the trip, and I just, I can't thank that kind of thing enough. It makes me miss my family, but it's also cool because, she gave it to me, and I have it with.
Good luck.
We're at Memphis right now, Memphis International Raceway, and just prepping for the first morning session. This will be the first time that the car's seen a road course with all the new setup. Yesterday was kind of the first initial test with the autocross, but it's a little bit different when you get on the track and you're at higher speeds and whatnot. So guys are double checking things and looking at logs and making sure everything's buttoned up before we go out. And and we'll see what happens.
Today, Brad will be doing the road course, and then I will do the drag racing later today. I've had experience launching the car with Optima during the speed stop. That's why I'll do drag racing, and then I guess the turn leading onto the drag strip is somewhat treacherous. Good.
That straightaway is so fast.
How fast are you going, do you know?
140-ish.
Oh, that's like Road Atlanta.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I wonder, yeah, it's gonna be fifth. Wow.
Change the protocol here a little bit. I think the consensus is the track is fine.
Coming out from the morning session, letting the car cool down, and revving it up, we heard some tapping on the engine. So we let it cool down. Oil light was also on. Let it cool down and check it out some more. Andy revved it up quick. That's maybe 30 minutes later after it cooled down. And as soon as he revved it up, we heard it. I was laying down checking up the logs and heard it, and I kind of knew it was a rod bearing failure right away. And we've had, with this car, this will be the third crank that cracked on the same exact spot. We still can't figure out why it cracks there. It's a forged crank now. This is the second forged crank, and wanted to confirm it, so we dropped the pen, and sure enough, it's right there. Bearing, shavings in the pan, and number 4 crack right on the oil supply line.
So here's the plan. We've located a motor in Florida, one of our good friends that we know in the Evo community, and Shane Mitchell is his name. Fantastic guy. He's got a motor ready for us. We're gonna plan on getting the car on a U-Haul truck and trailer, drive down to his place. He's 1.5 hours from Sebring, make the repairs happen, and have this car up and ready for Sebring. So that does mean we will be sacrificing Road Atlanta, but we need the time to get the car right. So you'll see us next time at Sebring.
Road Atlanta in the heart of Georgia, just east of downtown Atlanta. So we're about to go out for the morning session here. It's just almost 9 o'clock. We'll do 3 laps this morning, and then again around 12:30 we'll do 3 more.
What you've done.
I went in too deep in the 7, so I downshifted to 2nd, and that was the dumbest thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
Then I turned in hard, got back on the throttle, and I'm like,
Yeah,
just drifting all the way through it. And I was like, the car felt really good, especially considering we're running the Continentals compared to when I was here last time. I had RE71s.
My name is Doug Willey, competing here in the One Lap of America in my 2014 Chevrolet Camaro SS 1LE. This is my first time running with One Lap, and you know, we're here to have fun. Like to learn about the event, find out what it's about. It's a lapping session in part, but it's an endurance thing. You're doing this for 8 days, and the issue is, can you get through all 8 days, travel between the tracks, keep your car together, and keep your brain together? I'm in short on sleep. What's been better than I expected were the people that I've gotten to meet, but it's a really good crowd, and the people that have been doing this for many years, they're like family, but they're not a clique. They invite you in, and it makes it a lot more fun. You know, it's a 1 week long adventure with 160 of your new best friends. If you're thinking about doing this, if you can get the time off and you can find somebody you like that will either be your transit driver or co-drive with you, it's really worth doing. I mean, it's kind of the event of a lifetime. I really want to thank my wife Jackie for her help and support. I mean, she's taking care of all the logistics. She's tracking where we're going, helping us with routes. Really couldn't do this without you, Jackie. Thanks.
In the afternoon, I think we'll go faster. More comfortable with the track, even though it'll be hotter. I'll be able to push the car harder because, you know, I'm more comfortable with what's going on. So we just came off the track, did 3 more laps. They went pretty good. I don't know, it was a little hotter. It was getting a little slippery at the end, but made it work. It felt pretty good. I don't know if they'll be quite as quick as the morning session, but I certainly hope so. We just came off the track and we're packing up everything, heading to Sebring, 8 hours away.
What you gonna do with your life?
I only miss you when the sun goes down. Oh, your voice is my favorite sound. Swaying like the palm trees, you and me with poetry. Painting stories with our lips.
Lately I've been working on another level. Gonna get it all, no I never settle. I've been pressing down on the pedal, got the crown on my temple. I've been winning in the battle with the devil. Lately I've been
all the way down to Florida. Drove through the night, got to Florida about 7:30 in the morning, 7:38, and made it to Shane Mitchell's house. He got the car off the trailer, pulled it into his driveway, and he grabbed an awning, put it over the car so we could have some shade, put up a little fan, and we got to work. Got the car back on the road. It is ready to rock. We're here at Sebring. Andy's going to be driving. Andy is in driver focus mode right now.
Cause they hate to see somebody doing better than what they've been, and they say it's human nature, but the nature of the faker filled with jealousy and anger while I put in major labor. I've been trying to chase the paper.
I did nothing to prep as far as a driver for that track until this morning.
I'm trying to see me fail now, welcome. working on another level. Gonna get it all, no, I never settle. I've been pressing down.
Just getting the first session here at Sebring. Lined up in grid the way they wanted us to, and I ended up going ahead of 3 cars ahead of me.
What you call the greatest come up? I've been reaching millions, I've been chasing billions, I've been murdering the game and only you
Is pretty much how I expected it to be because of a lot of time spent with iRacing, and the bumps are unbelievable, especially turn 17. It's a big 180 turn. You kind of dive in, get the car slowed down, get it turned, and you're back on the throttle, steering, and those bumps are unlike anything I've ever.
Because they hate to see somebody doing better than what they've been, and they say it's human nature, but the nature of the faker filled with jealousy and anger while I put in major labor. I've been trying to chase the paper, and I had the fear of failure, but the greater comes with danger, and I made it stay and face it. I'm knowing no way to
Grassroots
go.
Motorsports. It's plunked, you know, like just a few blocks away from Daytona Beach. So as we're leaving, we decided, why not? We're this close, let's just go drive to the beach. Turned down a road, just kept going straight. We'll eventually hit the ocean, right? I'm not sure which configuration is going to be run first, but in the morning session, it's full course, but then this area 12-13, morning session is going to be one of them, and then afternoon session is going to be the other.
Motorsports Park. It's my first time here, and we found out that the guy that designed this track is the same guy that designed Gingerman, and walking the track you could see a couple spots of that definitely had some Gingerman flavor. There's a lot of decreasing radius corners that kind of catch you off guard. There's a couple of rumble strip spots, and the hardest part I had it adjusting to is the surface is really grainy here, so it looks like it's going to be super abrasive and aggressive and have a lot of grip, and it really doesn't. You sort of feel the car sliding across the top of it instead of digging in and catching.
I'm braking way too early here and there, and I'm not using this one. This one is like an uphill. It goes down, and then it goes up, and it's a.
So use that extra grip.
Yeah, yes, that's
It throws you off because you feel like you're flying down that hill and you're gonna like lose turning.
Yeah.
But
then
as
you
soon
hit
as
the
you get to
bottom.
the bottom,
But as soon as she's done braking, you should be right on throttle and come up.
Yeah. Or can you brake a little later even? Because you'll be able to brake a little bit once you hit the bottom.
Well, the going up part is already in the turn, so you're still coming down into the brake.
probably start braking after you turn in. With how
You'll have more
straight
grip. You'll be able to
across
trail
the-
brake it more.
Afternoon session. It's hotter out there, but got a lot more confident with the corners. Able to commit earlier on the corners, and figure out what to do on the other ones. So I still can't do the kink as fast as they want me to take it, but it is what it is. Car survived. It felt good, so I'm hoping for a better time. We'll see.
Well, the afternoon session went well. I thought I drove better, but the conditions were not better, so probably still slower. It's pretty greasy out there. There was a lot of it is slimy. The car behaved better. We made a couple shock changes and it behaved better, but just slower overall, I think. Corvette had an exciting moment in front of me that I watched, but he had an awesome save and didn't really bother my session at all. So now we're off to Virginia, 400 miles away.
The oval. I know. I told somebody I actually like some of you people.
It's really tight back over here. It's going to be interesting to see how it will be in the rain. It's a really new track, so I don't know how much of a rain line it developed. But you're definitely going to have to be on your game and adjust the line every run, find the grip.
So I wasn't sure what to anticipate. First time driving that tire in the rain, and surprisingly, they felt fantastic. There was more grip out there than what I was anticipating, and we did fantastic. We were 4th overall this morning, and I'm excited to go back out there and do it again.
I like racing in the rain. I love racing in the rain. I grew to appreciate it versus fear it, so I'm looking forward to today.
Read between the lines, reach you out of space. But now I know, but now I know. 1, 2, 3, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. 1, 2, 3, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Cue me in. Let's go. Switch it up. They say stop making no sad songs, but I'm mad gone. 'Cause I'm never gonna control the mainstream.
The car handled awesomely. This is a track we're pretty familiar with, so mostly we were just really curious to see how these tires were going to do and how the car was going to perform after a week of us wailing on it all week and doing 3,300 miles.
When I'm touching down with a cold, brave like smoke. San Jose, I'm in a fire now. I'm storing as the earthquake jokes.
And then I downshift back into corner 5, 6, and that's probably when it happened. I went downshifted to third, went into third, went around the corner, and then when I went to shift back up, nothing there. Shifter just sloppy, just stuck in gear. Okay, keep going. Back on it, and I just finished all the rest of the 3 laps in third gear. Got to about 8,000 RPMs and just backed off and held it right at 8,000, so probably about 100 miles an hour. So a lot of coasting, but just drove as fast as we could and still managed to be able to do a second overall finish, just 4/10?
Like 4/10 off.
4/10 off first place. I don't know. We kind of got to fix. We put a bigger washer there so it prevents from popping fully out next time.
Everyone else is I do in the cross. This is my sport. The thing is I keep getting better the more that I try. I've been on the field. I've been out here scoring the goals, but I know that I'm touching the sky. So when I say that I'm ready, just know that I'm willing to cause a disaster. This is the launch and I'm hearing the count while I'm headed up like I'm in NASA. I'm ready. I've been on the come up. I see that I'm ready to chart. But I know I gotta be careful, cause I do not want to false start.
It rotates like really nicely now. Really? Yeah, I think the last lap I was close to like barely even brushing the brakes to make 6 after I scrubbed down for 5. It hooks so well through there. I'm like, oh, it's going, yes!
Being a course we've been to before really helps to drive the track like 10/10 and be very comfortable. Car was running great, shifted great. Still a little bit down on power from our normal motor, but I think we turned it up to, I don't know, 28 PSI, so it feels like a mid 400 horse car now. But yeah, tires did great. They took it. They started getting a little hot at the very end, which is just perfect. You're getting that nice grip when they're cold right out of the gate, and they lasted just enough for those 3 laps. We finished first overall, beating by a nice margin of about 6 seconds. All right, so we were here back at Tire Rack for the 2017, I mean. Start over.
All right,
Cut.
you go.
Now you want me to go?
Take.
I think it's Ron's turn. All right,
We are back at Tire Rack.
So we just finished the 2017 Tire Rack One Lap of America. We're here at South Bend, Indiana at the Tire Rack headquarters. We ended up first overall in our class, the GT1 small bore class, which was cars $50,000 and over with their base price. Unfortunately, it was a small class, so it was kind of soft, and we greatly outperformed our competition in that aspect. I think we went into the event with, didn't have too big of expectations. Didn't really know how we'd finish overall, and we ended up squeaking into the top 15. And I guess we kind of discussed that we had a lofty goal of a top 10 finish overall, but considering we finished as well as we did, I think we're both pleased.
After the first day was sort of a realization moment, we're like, oh yeah, this competition is a lot harder than we expected it was going to be. If we could get like in the top 20, we'd be really happy with that, So then all week we've been like, after we kind of set the top 20 goals, like all week we've been like, oh, maybe we can get like 17th or 18th or something, and then just kind of chipping away at it all week. So we're pretty excited about that.
We finished in a top 3 in class and just made the top 20 overall.
Which top 20 we're pretty proud of, because we did miss 5 events. So we're wearing that proudly and couldn't be happier. It's been a fantastic trip. Yes, we've had our ups and downs, but we've had a blast.
So it's our first one lap, and if it wasn't for the RS guys, I don't know that either of us would have done it. They gave us a lot of insight, you know, especially with Churchill and Reese and Paul, following them past couple years, and just showing what all happens, you know, during the entire week. It helped us prepare both, you know, physically and mentally, and just a lot of planning, what to expect, you know, plan for the worst. We brought a bunch of spare parts, and obviously because we brought the parts, we didn't need them. So next year, you know, we'll be even better prepared. You know, just a lot of contingency planning. I think as far as the competition goes, it was overwhelming with the number of high-power cars that are in this event. Lots of GTRs, Porsches, Corvettes, Camaros, and the fact that we were able to hold our own, you know, the way we did, it's, you know, we'll have to come back swinging next year.
My most memorable part of this whole trip is driving an Evo on the beach, Daytona Beach in Florida, going for a swim. It was bathwater. It was beautiful. It was fun, especially given the fact that over that last 24-hour period, we had a motor fail, swap a motor at Shane Mitchell's house in the driveway, get it back on the road. Andy went and kicked butt at Sebring, and then you know, capping it off with a nice swim in the ocean. That was fantastic. That's my most memorable.
Yeah, and I'll agree. That was probably going to be mine too. Just having a really rough last 2 days, and we kind of got to Sebring. The car ran great, and then we got to the beach, and I don't know. It's kind of a
worries went away.
Right. Yeah, we kind of had, it was quite the roller coaster, and that was like the final big nice drop, you know. So since he stole mine, I don't know. Then I'll take my next memorable time was actually just at Gingerman, being back at a home track and really kind of throwing the car around and showing people what the real potential of the car is, and yeah, I don't know, just had a really good performance there. So, what's yours?
Mine would be when the car started back up, and now we know we can get back in it and really show what the car can do, or at least still be in contention for just the rest of the track events, not the finals, but show them what the car can do, and the driver shall still here. We're still here. We know the car is down in power, or was down in power, but we could move up, but we had to protect the motor and make it last for the rest of the time, and it was a borrowed engine, so, and it made it.
Yeah, it made it real good to us.
Most memorable part of the trip would be just being able to go to a bunch of tracks that either I don't know that I know I've always wanted to go to, that I don't know I ever would have otherwise, and going to tracks that I didn't even know existed until this event.
I think the same thing, and it was really cool to see those tracks, and then also it's just such a neat event in how focused you have to be compared to, you know, when you show up at a track, you don't have all weekend to learn the track, adjust the car, dial stuff, and make changes. It's like you got to be there, and you have to be on your game as soon as you leave the line, and that's a really neat and really different from anything else I've ever done. Even Optima, other really big national scale events, you've got a few sessions, you've got all day, you've got time to make things work. Here it's like you really have to work with what you've got and go quickly right away.
Yeah,
that was really fun.
I think that's one thing that might be misunderstood about One Lap of America, is that this isn't just like a tour of the U.S., you know, doing some track days at the tracks. We're competing. We go to these tracks, and you know what, we knew 2 of them.
Yeah.
I knew Sebring from simulators, but I'd never been there before. We get 1 sighting lap, which isn't even a complete lap, because sometimes we don't even see, you know, like the either end of the front straight. And you start it with a standing start. You have to do 3 consecutive laps, and all 3 laps count. And you have to bring your A game and go 10/10ths if you want to do well. You know, there's guys here just out having fun, but you know, we didn't come to lose.
So this is our 3rd year doing One Lap of America, and I think one of the things that we've learned in this whole process, and we kind of have known, is that you have to have a really well-balanced car. You can't have a car that's purpose-built for autocross and succeed at this, or purpose-built for the track and succeed at this. It kind of has to be balanced. And and almost leaning a little bit more towards track endurance. All the parts have to hold up.
And street use too. The car's got to travel 4,000 or 5,000 street miles. So having just a pure raw race car may not do well on the streets. It's for one, it's going to fatigue you, personally, it's like crazy. If you've got super stiff springs, and we kind of learned a little bit this year. We've kind of ran some solid motor mounts and solid rear diff mounts and stuff, and we could tell just riding in the car, you get to 400 or 500 miles in a day, and your ears are ringing, and it's just
start getting aches and pains.
So, and that plays with the overall performance, as a driver too. You're fatigued, you're tired, you have a headache and stuff like that. So having some comfort and stuff too on transits is kind of a big deal, really.
Yeah. Every year we learn something new. The first year we came out with the same 2-liter engine, smaller turbo, 430 horse, stock final drive on the trans, and that was hurting us in transit because that was a car that was doing 80 miles an hour at 3,500 RPM, or even higher than that, maybe 4,000 RPM.
It was humming along.
So the second year we added the 411 final drive, a different turbo to kind of keep up with the big guys. We had 470 horse, 411 final drive. Cruising was at 3,000 RPM at 80, and we could now, the second year we could get to 90 and still be comfortable. So that kind of sped up the transit a little bit. This year the plan was to go 2.2 to help the lag in the boost, and the same power, same turbo, and with the dog blocks, and still have the 411. But the 2.2 didn't make it, and so we still ran the same 2.0. And we learned that the 2.0 is just not the right balance for the turbo. It has to be a little bigger.
It worked well on the stock turbo and stuff, but as we're trying to push into that 500 horsepower range.
And like you said, it's got to be a balanced car. With a 411, a 2.0, a bigger turbo, the motor just wasn't there. So it has to be a 2.2 to make it a better balanced car.
Yeah, I think so too. Some of these tracks have tighter corners, and that's where the well-rounded car comes into play. You have tracks like Sebring and stuff where you need power, but then you have those tighter tracks like Dominion, where it's got all these really tight corners, where having that low-end power and stuff and the quick spool will really help.
And we're not done.
Absolutely not.
No, we know what we got to do, and we know what it will take, and we know it's there.
We only show them how fast we can fix the car. We knew we could do it.
I like to think, obviously, the RS guys, they're good motivation. They never let anything stop them. Obviously, Boosted Films, Paul Ellertson, Churchill, with Akalika Creative, both for thanks a lot for following us and showing everyone our story. Bimmer World Motion Control Suspension, they've really helped me develop the car, and I think I'd like to really give a shout out to Chris Stewart and Grid Life and all those guys. They're the big reason I've gotten on track as much as I have the past 2 years.
I would just echo that sentiment too. Matt has set up a really awesome car. I want to definitely thank Matt for letting me tag along and wail on his car all week. That was a lot of fun, and I think to my wife, helping plan this and looking at some of the logistics and looking if there were going to be spots that were going to be construction, and she's got friends that kind of are all over this route that helped with if there was going to be construction and stuff. So thank you for that.
Now it's out there. We can get back up.
Yep.
That's about as major as you can get for a car problem, and we got it with the help of the community. So
big thanks to Shane
Mitchell Racing.
Thank you, Shane. Appreciate it. The motor did fantastic. And that, just extending onto that, I think part of the whole learning process, we've also gained a big family in this too. Coming back the third year, people welcome us, recognize us, and it's always nice to come back and visit with certain people. People are always willing to help each other out. Yesterday at Gingerman, we had a problem with the shifter linkage, and our neighbors, Chris Porter, they had some parts to help rescue us. And then later on in the day, Chris had a failure on track with the suspension component, and we were able to kind of help them out. So that family dynamic of the racing people is pretty strong here, and we love coming back and experiencing that portion of it too.
Doing this One Lap of America really couldn't be possible on our own. We really have to thank the people that have helped to make it possible. help support us, help even the the fan base and stuff too. I know there's a lot of people following along. Big thanks to Falcon Tire this year. They kind of helped step up and really help support us. They came out with the new Falcon 615 Plus or 615K Plus tire a few months ago, so we got to kind of really put it to the test and show its potential, and it definitely hangs with the rest of the top street tires. So another big thanks to Turbo by Garrett. They helped supply us with some turbos, and they came out with a new reverse rotation turbo, and we really like their product, and it works. Yep. We really wish we would have had the big strong motor to really show the potential of that turbo, but I'm sure we'll have other events we'll put it to test. What else we got? Stance suspension was a big helper with setting up our suspension. They're right here in actually not that far from here in Chicago. They do custom valving. They can really kind of help dial a suspension in for you, work with you. Something you really don't get with a lot of companies is that personal touch and being able to help fine tune the setup. So Church and actually Boosted Films for following along. I mean, you guys were awesome, and you pretty much just did all the like grueling part of one lap, and you didn't get to do any of the fun driving stuff. So
yeah,
I don't know.
You. Thank you to Paul and Church. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Akalika Creative.
Yep.
Boosted Films.
Yeah.
Hats off, guys.
We've had a lot of other help along the way too. Race Ramps, Quick Trick,
Max Hall,
All-Wheel Drive Army, Max Hall. I mean, all those. There's a lot of people we can't think enough. Phobia Fab.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he was huge.
The guy behind the turbo kit.
Yeah. There's really nothing on the market for this new turbo setup. So he kind of took a few nights out of his week and built a manifold and a whole kit for us. So huge thanks. Yeah. The people that we live with, that put up with this crazy hobby. I can't thank them enough. The last couple weeks have just been crazy getting the car ready, and you have so much stuff going on in personal life besides car stuff, and then trying to fit this car stuff in there, it's tough.
The prep work it's not just the week of one lap that you're doing. You're still taking time off from your family. Just getting the car ready. Brandon would come to the shop. It's like I'm ready to work today, and we'll get on it. And Andy would drive 3 hours away, put his hours in.
And even the time you're not even at the shop prepping, like you're thinking you're mentally kind of gone. You're already thinking one lap. The last few weeks it's very mind consuming. It's all we're thinking about. And
so on top of the sponsors, what we're saying is we couldn't have done it without all the background help of our families being forgiving and letting us get to the shop and do all the planning. That part was crucial. So the wives,
kids,
the girlfriends, dogs, absolutely. Oh man, thank you guys, and looking forward to coming back home and giving hugs and kisses for sure.
Yes.